Happy Saturday, everyone. Our reader is just about to arrive. Meanwhile, let's continue to invite and continue to promote our reading club this morning. Entrepreneur, this is the entrepreneur minds and spirit. We can all come together and join forces in great ideas and mentorship leadership. So we're going to be back in about a minute. Meanwhile, let's continue to invite. Our reader is showing up shortly. Appreciate you all.
Fernando,
Yes, Dr. G.W. Parker, good morning, sir.
great morning. We've got a call in to David. Lynn is attempting to reach him as well. I've had no luck reaching out to him by phone. I'm not sure what he's up against this morning, but we're not going to hold the readers up any longer. I don't mind being our reader today. I'll figure it out. But was it chapter 9 or 10 that we start today? Do you remember?
It's chapter 10, sir.
Okay, I'm going to give David one more minute. If he's not on, then I'll take it.
Dr. G.W. Parker, thank you so much for stepping in. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, see, we're not leaving anyone out. Dr. G.W. Parker obviously is trying to position himself to read for us this morning. Not only read for us, but to share his experience in what he does and what he continues to do, blessing many people with what he's devoted to, spirituality and business. Thank you so much, Dr. G.W. Parker.
My pleasure, sir. 10 feet tall, bulletproof, strong as thunder. We're going to find a way.
That's what I'm talking about, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir, Ron. I'm going to pull you in on this one with me, sir.
Oh, I don't have the book in front of me.
Okay. Hey, good morning, team. It is an exciting Saturday morning. I was not in position to read, but if David's not going to be able to get to us this morning, I'll get started. I may not be able to get on camera, but I'm hoping that you can hear me clearly. I'll position myself to get started here shortly. So we don't want to keep you on morning because we've got other events happening after this. We've got an incredible presentation coming up as well. So I'm just excited to be here at this moment in this time. But before the reading starts, I will say that it is now our time to do what we need to do to achieve the greatness that is in us. We can't keep waiting. We can't keep dragging it out, procrastinating, and putting it off. It's inevitable. It's ours to have, but we've got to be willing to pay the price. So that price, compared to where you end up, is not that much. It may seem like a lot, but honestly, it's not. And will it be easy? No. But will it be worth it? I say yes. All day, every day. So once again, welcome to our Entrepreneurs Reading Club. My name is Gerald W. Parker. My friends call me GW. I'll be your reader today, it looks like, unless Mr. David shows up here in the next minute or so. It is 9:41. Actually, so we're 10 minutes past the hour of our start time at 9:30. And let me just double check messages here real quick, Fernando Ramirez, and we'll get this thing started. Let's see what I got here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and run with it. For those of you who have your book, we're going to be on chapter 10 this morning. Chapter 10 this morning, Greatness in the Moment. Fernando, can you hear me well?
Loud and clear, sir.
All right, let's begin our reading. Chapter 10, Greatness in the Moment. They say that with technology, the world is now smaller. I think it's also moving faster. Life seems to be getting busier and speeding up. Now, I've got to agree with the guy on that. Don't get me wrong, technology is great. My phone now has my phone now has way more computing capability and usefulness than the first laptop I purchased in 1988 for about $6,000. Wow. The downside is that now that we now have very little downtime in our day. It used to be that on the drive to and from work, we could ramp up and ramp down, but now most people spend that time on the phone. The natural margin in our day is disappearing, but we still need time to mentally relax. All right. In this hurried new world, multitasking has become a highly valued skill. The belief is that in order to get the most out of my day, I need to be fully scheduled, fully committed, and consistently on the run. The fear is that I might miss out on something good, so I hurry from one meeting or event to the next, squeezing in a phone call or two in between. Does that sound familiar to anybody? This guy's describing my day, man. When I am in meetings, I'm constantly checking my email and messages, but I don't want to miss anything. And with texting, I can carry on 2 or 3 conversations at one time. Not many people would admit, moving on to the next page here, not many people would admit that this is the way they operate. I'll admit that. But just look around you. This is the way most people behave. In our efforts to not miss anything, we unwittingly miss everything. Whoa, say that again, brother. Let me read that again. In our efforts to not miss anything, we unwittingly miss everything. Our attention is spread over various subjects and conversations, and when we strive to do so much, we actually apply very little of ourselves to any individual activity. We feel stressed out, burned out, exhausted, frustrated, and disconnected. In the end, this approach practically guarantees that we will be mediocre by virtue of the fact that nothing gets our full attention. Woo, he's hitting hard this morning. Not the important projects, not the important conversations, not the important people. Most people are running so fast, they miss life. Whoa. They are in one place physically and another place mentally. I remember growing up, I'm a huge R&B fan, and this sentence here reminds me of a song by the OJs. I don't know if many of you remember the OJs, but the guy sang to the girl and he said, "Your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of town." Hey, if you can't have fun with this, why even do it, right? So I'm in remember the OJs. Let me see that in the chat. But yeah, so this guy's saying the same thing. All right. He says that they're in one place physically and another place mentally. Your body's here, but your mind is somewhere else. All right. You are most effective when you are mentally where you are physically. Whoa. That's it right there. I'll read that again. You are most effective when you are mentally where you are physically. When you are present in the moment. Athletes call it playing in the zone. When you're present in the moment, your thinking is clear and focused. Decisions come easy, and you move through tasks almost effortlessly. When you are in the moment, you live with grace and ease. Woo. When you are totally present in the moment, when you connect with the now, life is more enjoyable. That's pretty strong right there. There's a quote here from Abraham Lincoln. The best thing about the future is that it comes one day at a time. Wow. All right. You can't change the past or act in the future. The current moment, the internal right now, is all you have. My grandfather used to say, if you're going to do something, son, you need to get it done now. Right now, not tomorrow, but right now. So, right now, you can affect what happens to you for the rest of your life. Now, we can stop reading right here because that says it all. Right now, you can affect what happens to you for the rest of your life. Think about it. Think about it. Where you are today is no more than a mere reflection of how your time has been spent. That's my own quote. I stole that from Bill Britt, maybe in Amway. I don't know. I heard it somewhere. But that makes sense. Where you are today is no more than a mere reflection of how your time has been spent. So, what are you doing with your time? If you honestly are not satisfied with where you currently are right now, there's only one person that can change that. There's only one person that is responsible for where you are right now. It's you. It's me. And we've got to be honest with ourselves. Uh, I want to finish this myself personally, as far as the work that we've set out to do with our MWR business and any other endeavor that we might be involved in. But let me finish reading here. The future is created now. Our dreams are achieved in the moment. He says, my wife Judy and I are both cancer survivors. For those of you who have dealt with cancer, either yourself or with a family member, you know firsthand how quickly you gain an appreciation for the present moment. The fact is that life happens in a moment. Life is lived in a moment. And ultimately, greatness is created in the moment. Woo! Let's keep reading here, and then we're going to open this thing up for some conversation here. This is pretty interesting. Thanks, David, for giving me an opportunity to sit in for you today. Performing in the moment. Like many people around the world, every couple of years, I tuned into the Olympic Games to watch amazing athletes do incredible things. A few years back, as I watched the events, the following thought crossed my mind. When does a champion become great? The obvious answer seems to be when the individual achieves a high level of performance, such as winning a gold medal. But as I considered my own question further, I came to the conclusion that greatness is not achieved when the results is reached, but rather long before that, when an individual chooses to do things that he knows he needs to do. Woo, woo. We're hitting it, man. All right. Let's stick with the Olympic athlete as an example. The athlete becomes great not when she breaks the world record and wins the medal. That's when the world recognizes her. But in the reality, the event is just the evidence of her greatness. The athlete achieved greatness months, perhaps years earlier, when she decided to run the extra mile, swim the extra lap, or to perform just one jump more. Wow. I would argue that Michael Phelps didn't achieve greatness. You remember him. He was the Olympic gold medalist. I think the kid won 18 gold medals. As a matter of fact, it says it here. It says, I would argue that Michael Phelps didn't achieve greatness when he won his 18th gold medal or when he won his first. He became great when he decided to do the things that would allow him to win. He achieved greatness the moment he chose to put the effort into his training, spending the hours in the gym and pool and eating the foods his body needed instead of those he wanted. Strengthening his mental resolve, the gold medal wins were simply the evidence of greatness. Michael Phelps had actually achieved greatness many years earlier. Results are not the attainment of greatness, but simply the confirmation of it. You become greater long before the results show it. It happens in an instant, the moment you choose to do things you need to do to be great. Roger Ward Babson is another quote here. Let him who would enjoy a good future waste none of his present. Whew. I like that one. All right, let's keep going here. What I find profound, or should I stop at this point? Let's just stop for a moment and get some feedback here from our audience. So, because we're almost done with this chapter, I've just got this half page and page 59 to read. But you guys want to talk about this? This guy's hitting home right here. I've always enjoyed this book. I mean, this is the first time I've read it. I want to thank once again Eric Wilner for introducing me and the group to it. But think about it, the 12-week year. Get more done in 12 weeks than others do in 12 months. Do you believe it's possible? Let's talk about it.
Dr. Parker.
Say again, Ron?
I have a comment on that, on this chapter.
Go ahead.
Studies, we're talking about multitasking. There are very few people in the world that can really, really multitask. What you do is you're switching between tasks, from one to the other, back and forth. And they've done studies, whoever that they are, they've done studies that says the person that focuses on the one item at a time, they produce more and produce it in less time than the ones that are multitasking, and they actually perform better.
Wow. I mean, it makes sense to me because you really need some laser focus to achieve greatness. Whatever it is you're trying to do, whether you're growing an apple tree or whether you're building an MWR business, it does not matter. You've got to have some focus on whatever it is you're doing. And we know that, the Bible says that you can't serve two masters, right? So something's going to go lacking. And I mean, I give great applause to those guys who could do several multi-level marketing opportunities at one time. I've never understood how, but I do understand that I don't see great success in their lives because they can't focus on one thing. They've got a little piece here and a little piece there, and they're making a little money on each one of them. But imagine what that income potential could be if they were focused 100% on that one thing. And that's why I don't move from MWR. That's why I don't want to do anything. I can do one thing real good. But you give me two or three things at one time, I'm not going to be able to juggle all that. And I don't want to. It seems to be just too much work. It's tough enough growing one business, much less trying to grow two or three or sometimes four at the same time. A little bit too much for me. Anybody else?
Hey,
Good
Dr.
morning,
GW.
Dr. Parker. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead,
Is
Monifa.
that the
That's
great
fine.
queen herself out of
Ladies
Queens, New
first.
York, Miss Manifa?
Yes, I'm here, Queens, New York, in the building. Great morning, great read, plenty of aha moments. Most people are not failing because they lack goals. They're failing because they lack control over their time and attention. So when you
Say it
say,
again. Say that again.
so when you say that, it's hard because you got too much going on. I'll say that again. They're failing because they lack control over their time and attention. Um, this author, I think he emphasized on high performers and how they do not find time, but they create, how they do is they create protected time for the actions tied together to their vision and their goal. So, with that being said, we have to focus, like you said, laser focus on one thing, get that going, and possibly once that's on autopilot, possibly you can take on another task.
Well, I mean, I agree with you 100%. So you like, for example, for me, and this is just me personally, I focus all of my efforts to building my MWR business, right? That income is going to allow me to parlay that into other investments, precious metals, real estate,
Absolutely.
whatever it might be. So, but I focus on the one thing and build that and let it generate the income that allows me to get on with the other work or the other investment, the other things that I want to do. And many of those things, when you talk about investments, don't require half as much time as it takes to build the business because now you position yourself where your money's working for you. And that is the ultimate goal for all of us. I hope it is at least. We need to find a way to get that done. I go back to Warren Buffett's quotes, who said, if you don't find a way to generate income through some investment vehicle while you're asleep, then you're going to be forced to work until you die. I tremble every time I hear that statement or see it or even think about it. I don't want to be that person. We've got to figure this thing out. And we know that money's going to outwork you and me. It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. There'll never be enough time in a day working, at least for someone else, where you generate enough income to set you free. It was never designed to be that way. So we've got to find ways to invest our money so that money begins to work for us. I talk
Absolutely.
yeah, I talk to my money every day. I said, listen, go ahead and get it done today now. Bring something back with you. Don't come back by yourself. And I pray for my money every night too before I go to bed. It's in my prayer. Listen, Lord, help it multiply, help it do what it's designed to do. And
Mhm.
and money can do that for you. So at the end of the day, it's about what you do with not only your time, but the time allows you to put yourself in a position where you can help other people and you can win and you can generate the level of income that you need. Because again, we got to have the money. That's the only way we're going to win this game. That's what everybody who's successful, when you look at those guys' portfolio, the great majority of their money are in vehicles that are generating income for them. To make money while you sleep, that's why I'm so excited about this precious metal platform that we got. Because Maniva, guess what happened while I was asleep last night?
What? Your money was growing.
I made money. I
Uh-huh.
made I made money. I made an initial investment in my first ounce and been stacking ever since. And this thing is growing. And boy, I get excited about it. So what I need to do is help it grow by putting more with it. I need to
Yeah,
team that money up with some more money so that it can really take off and do what it needs to do. And at that point, I'm gonna go home and sit down. Let the money do all the work.
absolutely. Absolutely. I totally concur. And one more aha moment. I wanted to say a packed day does not equal a productive day.
Mm.
It A lot of people are exhausted from motion, but not progress. So sometimes you say it's too much. I'm tired. Yeah, because your energy is geared on something else, not really being productive and executing.
Busy, busy doing nothing. I meet
Yeah,
people all the time. What you doing? Oh, I'm busy, man. I'm busy. It ain't turning into no result. I mean, what are you doing? Seriously. And we've got to be serious about that. Marvin Gaye used to say, talking loud and saying nothing. Boy, I'm fired up this morning. I'm telling you, you shouldn't have put me on the platform.
you doing some mic drops this morning, mic drop moments.
This is hot stuff, man. Who else will join us in the conversation before we move forward? Anybody else? Any other comments?
Hey,
Ron
Dr.
Sanders, I see you out there. Fernando, yes, sir.
Hey, Dr. Gidalia, I just give you kudos because, this is multitasking right there. I mean, you're in the field, you're in the field, right? And something comes up and you didn't say no. You just said, hey, I'm going to proceed, I'm going to move forward. And the thing about it is your attitude of gratitude is what makes the reading so much fun,
Wow.
and that's we learn. when we get educated, but we learn when we are entertained. So you're doing both, entertaining and educating us here. One thing I'd like to bring to what we're talking about here is, doing too much, as Monifa alluded to, packed day or productive day. So sometimes we do a lot of nothing and we get tired doing a lot of nothing. Nothing meaning, what is your energy gearing towards? Is it to grow a business? And if it is, then what is the main topic of that business growth activity? What activity? Not cleaning up the desk, the surrounding areas, looking at your leads, but never making the call. And so what you're doing is busy stuff, unproductive. So I'm taking a lot of notes as I read here. At the beginning, you read on efforts not to miss anything, and you end up missing everything. Multitasking, right? Spreading yourself too thin. The present moment, it's living with grace, and it's so true. The best thing about the future is it comes one day at a time. Wow, how crucial is that? If we understand the value of time, and I always ask this question, how many of you know how many seconds we have in a day? In 24 hours. I guarantee you, out of 10 people that I ask that question to, a lot of people get surprised. They're like, I don't know. And sometimes they don't even want to respond because they don't want to sound stupid. So if we understand the value of time, we should understand the value of, of every second that counts, or even minutes. You can calculate that. And when you see it, we are wealthy with time. We got 86,400 seconds daily. This is our life bank. What is it that we do with it is up to us. The future is created in the moment. Greatness achieved in the moment when you decide in the moment, taking action for performance is everything. So whatever you're performing in, or what activities that you want to produce the result that you want to attract, and if you focus on that, results begin to happen. And I've been doing that a lot this week, Dr. G.W. Parker, making my calls, contacting folks, and things are working in the right direction because I leave everything else out and focus on the activities that need to happen right then and there. Back to you, Dr. G.W.
I like that. Fernando, if you could give me that number again as far as how many minutes? 86,000 what?
Seconds is 86,400
Se-
seconds.
Seconds. 86,400 seconds in a day.
Yeah. And then minutes,
86,000.
minutes is 1,440.
1,440. Whoa, minutes. That's a lot of time. I mean, I can do a lot with that. You think about 60 seconds at a time.
You know one thing that I
1,400.
Yeah, Dr. GW, you know what I learned from Elon Musk?
What's
He
that?
says a lot of people take too long to achieve something. What
Woo!
somebody else can do in a year, I can do it in 90 days, he says. And that's the reason he is where he's at.
Well, listen, when you make that level of commitment to do it and do it fast, man, it's so rewarding. But at the same time, now you have the ability to kind of really begin to enjoy life, right? Because if we continue to grind, chasing it, working towards it every single day, but not doing the things that we really need to do, making the ultimate sacrifices, then we just keep grinding. 10 years go by, 20 years go by, you know, and next thing you know, you're on the same plan that the man is offering 40 hours a week for 40 years, and then try to live off 40% of the income that you were earning when you worked full time. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Never have been. I am not even built that way. I can't do it. I just believe strongly in my own ability, God given talent, that I can make some things happen, man. Those things will set me free. And that positions me to be a blessing to others and to impact the world in a major way. It's we got to get it done. We got to get it done. Hey, it looks like Mr. Gibson has just joined us on the platform, Fernando. Do you see him there? We'll give him David. I'm going to finish up page 58, go right to the top of 59, and then we roll into chapter 11. And if you want to take it from there, sir, I would be honored. Internet, intentional imbalance is chapter 11. But let's finish chapter 10, and then we'll have a discussion as David positions himself. All right, here we go. It says, What I find profound is that the difference between greatness and mediocrity on a daily and weekly basis is slim. Yet the difference in results down the road is tremendous. The difference between greatness and mediocrity for a salesperson is 2 or 3 extra appointments a week, 5 or 10 more calls a day, 3 hours out of the 45-hour work week spent working on their business. For a manager or leader, it's recognizing the good work of one or more persons each day, delegating their tasks instead of doing it themselves, spending 3 hours of their week on strategic priorities, giving verbal praise and encouragement to someone who's struggling. On a day and weekly basis, these differences seem minor, but in the long run, they are significant. Wow. Each and every one of us has the God-given ability to be great. I'm gonna hold it there for a minute, boy. He's talking my language. Listen, he says each and every one of us has the God-given ability to be great. Sometimes you just got to hear from somebody else. He's just confirmed what I've always believed about myself. I want to read it again. Each and every one of us, me, you, everybody here, everybody, even if they're not here, it does not matter. But each and every one of us has the God-given ability to be great. Do you believe it? And if you truly believe that, why do we not posture ourselves and be bold about it and go after it? You're afraid of what someone else might think, or say. I, who cares? It's in you. We just gotta go get it. It's in us. What makes a champion is the discipline to do the extra things, especially when you don't feel like it. Boy, he's knocking on us hard today. Look at this. I'll read that again. What makes a champion is the discipline to do the extra things, especially when you don't feel like it. How many days have we had like that? There were many days. Yesterday, actually, I wasn't up for it. I didn't feel like it, but I went to the appointment anyway. I made those calls anyway, and those calls netted me a good result. Matter of fact, I've got a follow up to do today to get the guy in the business. But so we've just got to fight through these things to get to the other side. I said earlier, it's not going to be easy, but is it worth it? Absolutely. The encouraging news is that regardless of how you performed in the past or how you are performing currently, you can be great beginning today, not tomorrow, but right now. Today, he says, simply by choosing to do the things you know you need to do. This guy is crazy. Listen, he says you just simply have to choose to do the things that you know, not what Fernando knows or Monifa or David, but what you know you need to do. And honestly, if we take a moment and step away from this platform and go look in a mirror, if you got a mirror close by, you begin to look at yourself because you know what needs to be done. And only you know what needs to be done. We know what we're not doing. We know the lack of commitment. We know what price we're willing to pay. We've already got that stuff figured out in the head, but and nobody else knows what you need to do. So once you figure that out and commit to that, then we win. All right. It really is no more complicated than that. He simplified it. I agree with him 100%. In the end, you are either great in the moment or not at all. Tell the truth, brother. In the first chapter, I wrote about the 2 lives most of us have. The one we live and the one we are capable of living. Good street the morning. What? Listen, I'm reading this again. I hope you got the book. Guys, let me get a highlighter here. Look, he says here in the first chapter, I wrote about the 2 lives most of us have. All right, here we go. This is where it starts to cut deep. The one we live, currently living right now, and the one we are capable of living. Whew. My heart's beating real fast. I want to stay right there for a minute, boy. This is so real. He says, don't settle for anything less than the life you're capable of. Make a commitment to be great each day and watch what can happen in just 12 short weeks. Suppose you could grow your MWR business to a 2-star regional director position or a regional position for that matter. $200 a day, $6,000 a month, $73,000 a year. You can do that in 12 short weeks. Fernando almost did it. Actually, it took him just a few months to do it, but 12 short weeks, guys. I mean, but this guy talks about you really realizing your true potential, your God-given gifts, and doing the work that is necessary, looking yourself square in the mirror and holding your own self accountable and live the life that you're capable of living. The potential that you possess is unbelievable. You have it in you. You are talented. You're gifted. You have a skill set that nobody else has. Why don't we capitalize on that? It is time. It's time. I ran into some people the other day, and they said, "Man, every time I see you, you're excited." And I've been excited. When I was a kid, I was excited. Listen, I wasn't the best athlete, but I had this leadership ability somehow. I don't know where it came from, but in high school, so I was selected to be the quarterback of the team. Not so much for my skills as a quarterback, but for my leadership ability because I could keep the guys hyped up. I was always the guy, the most excited guy on the field. I was always encouraging the other guys. And it was contagious. It was absolutely contagious. And I've had that level of enthusiasm, it seems, all of my life. Where it comes from, God himself has given it to me, I assume. But I'm saying that there's never been any shortage of enthusiasm or excitement for me in my life in anything I've ever done. But I'll tell you a quick story, then we'll let David have it. And then we'll have this conversation before we go to the next chapter. When I was in high school, I was a pretty decent track athlete, right? And I ran the 400 meter, the 800 meter, the mile relay, and the mile. And I lived 6 miles away from school. So I would run to school every morning. My sister drove to school. She put my clothes in the gym locker. And I'd get to school after running the 6 miles. I'd take a shower and then go to my first class. And then I'd go to track practice in the afternoon after school. But anyway, I became real bold. And I talked a lot of trash to them guys that I ran against. So we would visit these other schools. And my mom took me to a sporting goods store and to buy me some track shoes. And when I walked in, I saw these lime green, very bright colored shoes. And I asked the man, did they have them in my size? And I wanted those. My mom was like, there's a really bright chair. I said, that's okay. I'm making a statement here. I'm in high school now. And she bought me those shoes. And you know what I did? I went and found some of those bells. You know the bells that mother puts on the baby shoes when they're babies? I tied those bells to my shoes. I'd get to the starting line before the man sounded the gun, before the race started, and I'd shake those bells so my competitors on each side of me could hear him. And they thought it was strange. Why is he doing that? He found out later, and we took off. The gun sounded, we ran, and I stayed near the back of the pack. But I had this incredible win about a quarter way to the finish. And when them guys heard those bells, they knew it was me coming. And I would tell them before the race started, when you hear these bells, quit. You might as well give up because it's me coming. And I messed with their heads. The psyche. Many of those guys were better than me, but on that particular day, I outran all of them. But when they heard those bells, man, they looked around to the left. I'd move to the right. They looked around to the right. I'd move to the left. When they looked again, I'd ran right by them. It never failed. But I wore those bells on my shoe, and it was that was my trademark throughout high school. Became the best guy in my district too, at every event that I ran. But I don't know where this stuff comes from, man. But I'm sure glad I got it. But anyway, I'll give it back to somebody else. You got me excited this morning.
Gonna remember that. Ring the bell. Just go ahead and ring those bells.
That's right. That's right. That's right. The boys didn't know what to do, Rob.
Yep.
Anybody else? Oh, listen, to add to the story, and I know we're talking about the book, but I'm here now, so let me just tell you this. The other thing I would do, I would go to the art class in school. I wasn't a part of the art class, but I knew the teacher and all the other students, and I would have them get this big crepe paper, right, and bright colors. And then I knew the competition. I knew how I would be running against every single week, right? I would track those guys' progress in the local newspaper and all that. So when I took on this competition and we traveled to these schools, these other schools, I would have the art class make me these big poster boards, and it would say Barry Barrington. I'll never forget that guy. He was one of the best in the district, and I had the art class write Parker dominates Barrington. Yeah, and all that kind of stuff. And I would get off of the bus, the activity bus that we used to travel to the school, and I'd walk around the infield, and I'd have that thing above my head. And I was messing with that guy's head, man. But every competitor that I had, I knew who I was going to be running against on a given day, and I would have those girls do that for me. And man, I walked those infields with those big signs. Parker wins state championship. Parker, dominates. Parker sets state record. All that kind of stuff. And none of those things had happened, but I was believing those things could happen. I was speaking those things as if they were, and everybody bought into it, including the competition. And they saw me coming, Monifa, it was tremble. There he is again. That's that go Parker. Okay,
Oh
guys,
my goodness.
I'm done. I'm done.
Dr. Parker, you have done such a fantastic, marvelous job in my brief absence. I can't top that. Plus, I just want to pick up where you just left off and highlight some of the things that you brought to our consciousness. Is that that story you just told is about affirmations and about mindset. You're 16 years old. You had never had this kind of personal development at that time, but just like you said, naturally it came forward. And now look at you now. That's what I because it's so easy for you to write a book about it and to speak about it with such passion and enthusiasm. And guys, this is what being in the room with somebody like Dr. Parker is all about. Because if you don't believe in yourself, if somebody else says, hey, you can do this, you can do, and then you see it in them, then you're saying, you know what? Let me drop that barrier in my mind and let me go ahead and believe in myself and make, like you said, Dr. Parker, I don't want to do it. I'm scared to do it, but I'm going to make this call. And I don't care what the outcome is, but I'm going to do what I'm supposed to do. And then you do it. And guess what? That confidence, that feeling that you get after doing what you say you're going to do is so amazing and so powerful, because then it feeds into your confidence level and you think, okay, now I can make the second call. All right, yeah, now I'm on a roll now. And that big mo that we talked about before, it kicks
Yep.
in. The momentum starts going, and then soon before you know it, you made 10 calls in one day. And so, you know, I love those stories because the mind is such a terrible thing to waste, and you were messing with those guys' minds. They didn't know that they were up against a superior mind even at that age, because that's some Carl Lewis stuff, Usain Bolt kind of stuff. You had your trademark, you had your
David,
process.
yes, sir. And it worked every time. And here's the most amazing part about it. Many of those guys were far better than me.
Mhm.
They had set records. They had run better times than I did. But on that particular day, I ran my best time because I was running against the best competition. And I ran my heart out, and I set records on those days. My best time was
Wow.
done
Wow.
when those things happen. So, it's just, listen, the closest I ever got to trying to develop my mind mentally was Norman Vincent Peale. The book was called The Power of Positive Thinking.
Oh yeah.
My best friend, Ed Simmons, lived next door to a guy named Jim Mason. Jim Mason was in Amway. This is back in like
Uh,
78, 79. And
yeah.
part of Amway's strategy, what those guys read, those they
Mhm.
were it was mandatory to do those readings. But he shared a book with me called The Power of Positive Thinking by Norman Vincent Peale. And I used to go to his house on weekends, and his father would always. His father was in the construction business. They seemed to always have some issues with the roof of his house. So every Saturday there would be a ladder leaning against the back of the house. We would climb on top of that ladder. There was a big old tree that gave us shade, and we would read that book. And I'm telling
Hmm.
you, I felt that I could, when I started reading Norman Vincent Peale, The Power of Positive Thinking at 15, 16 years old, I could have
Ah,
jumped off that roof and just walked on water, man. I mean, that book had me such a high, but it opened my mind to what was possible, you know? That's where it all started for me. But I thank Jim Mason, who recently passed away, but was in Amway, and that book got me going, and I've been hungry and thirsty for that kind of reading all of my life. You know, from early on, from 15, 16 years old. And I don't know how many books I've read, I've got, but I continue to pour those kinds of things in me. But that was truly part of what got me where I was once I hit that high school level.
yeah. And you also touched on the fact that God has given each one of us, whether we have found it yet or not, each one of us has a spiritual gift, and He's given us talents and skills that are unique to us. And of course, we develop those as we go through our school years, but some of them are innate, they're natural. So, you like you said, you fed your mind with that particular book, and it manifested itself in how you carried yourself in those particular instances. And that's another thing. The reading of this book is not just for us to get together and read and absorb the ideas. Well, it is to absorb the ideas, but to put them into practice. You know, that no matter how, like it says, no matter how you performed in the past or how you're performing currently, you can be great starting
Wow.
today. We don't have to wait. We do not have to wait. We can make the decision to do the best we can, to be the best we can today, right now. Nothing holding
Wow.
us back but ourselves. One little cliche that I cling to when people say that they've always done it this way, or you don't know my story, I have what I've been through and all that. I say, you know what? You don't look like a tree, so I don't think you are a tree. And I give them a minute to think about that, because we know what happens with a tree. Once it's planted, it starts putting down roots, and that's another good thing. But when it comes to change, when it comes to making that pivot, you don't want to be a tree, because a tree stands in one spot for its entire being unless it's cut down or hit by lightning or whatever may happen to it, or is burned up in a fire. That tree will stay right there. But we're
Wow.
human. And as long as
Wow.
our mind is active and as long as God gives us breath, we can change. We can do whatever it takes and whatever it is that we put our minds to. That's a true statement. That's where it begins. It's in our thoughts. Our beliefs fuel our thoughts produce our actions, and our actions produce our lifestyle.
Wow.
That's what this is all about.
David, you said a lot there, sir, and I agree with you 100%. And it makes all the difference in the world, guys. It is truly up to us. We have everything we need. We've been gifted that by the Creator Himself. And all we've got to do now is begin to walk in that
There you
authority
go.
that we've been
Yep.
given.
Yep.
He's given us dominion over this earthly kingdom. We own this. We are
Yep.
heirs, and we are here to dominate. I mean, dominion means to dominate, to take rule over,
Love
and
it.
we just gotta move on it. We gotta do it, man. I've just got a new
Yeah.
level of excitement about me recently, and I'm running with it, man. And there are people still that say, this guy's is crazy because it's out of the norm for them, right? They haven't found anything yet to be excited about. Dr. King said if a man has not discovered something that he's willing to die for, he's not
Yes.
fit, he's not fit to live.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to find something. We got to find our passion, man. We got to find that thing. And many of us already know what it is, but there's this fear factor that holds us up that won't let us move forward. You
Yeah.
know, I just say, what do you got to lose, man? What do you got to lose? Let's just give it all we got. And I encourage people, just try it for 30 days. Get
Mm.
laser focused. Give it everything that you got. No excuses, and just all those other things that are getting in your way, just set those things to the side for the moment and look at your progress in 30 days. Tell me where you are. If that feels good, let's go another 30 days.
There
That
you
feels
go.
good. Let's go another 30 days. Before you know it, your 12 weeks is done and you're sitting pretty and life is good.
You know, another thing about you, Dr. Parker, your enthusiasm is infectious.
Wow.
And God, that's something else that, when and that's the of course the title of your book, that you gotta get excited, not just hyped up excited, but excited about the possibilities of what you have in front of you. The future is not determined, but it can be shaped by
Mm,
our what we do in the present. Our, like Dr. Parker just said, our future selves are rooting for us to make the right decisions today so that they can live our best life in the future. So, guys, what are you going to do? What's your commitment today that will um, make you live the life that's possible, not the one that you're currently? If you're not satisfied with the way you're living now, if this is not the lifestyle you really want, and you know through MWR that it's possible to live and have a better one, what is holding you back?
wow. Wow. That's good. Listen, I heard Miles Monroe say vision is God's way of showing you the end at the beginning. When you can picture that in your head, you can see your life, the life
Hmm.
that you desire, the life that you want. That's the vision you have for your life, right? So all you're doing now is you got to do the work because the vision is there, but that's the end game. I mean, so you're seeing the end at the beginning. And David,
Man,
I've already seen the future. I know
look
how
at
this
that.
thing is going to play out. And I'm on the winning side of things, my friend. I'm on the winning side. I'm winning big. I've already seen it.
Now I
I'm
know
telling you.
you've already quoted Dr. King once. Now you just reminded me of his speech. He's been to the mountaintop and he's
Yes,
seen
sir.
it.
Yes, sir. I've seen it. I've seen how this thing is going to play out, man. I know how.
That's beautiful.
I
That
see
is
the
beautiful.
lives that I'll impact, the difference that I'll make. I mean, I've seen it all, honestly. I've seen it all, and the vision is clear. So I'm running towards that now to make those things happen. But getting back to the impact that we all have, the abilities that we've been gifted with, your
Hmm.
life should be so impactful that they'll be talking about you 100 years from now. So
Wow.
some of us will be written about, and there'll be conversations being had. David Gibson put this in motion. Did you see?
Mm.
Did you ever know David Gibson? Did you ever have a chance to meet David Gibson? I mean, this auditorium that we're sitting in right now, it was his idea. It was his funding that made it happen. All these kinds of things, man. I mean, 100 years from today, you think we'll ever forget Dr. King? No.
Right. Right.
Will you ever forget George Washington, Abraham Lincoln? Look at some of these people. Years, hundreds of years. The impact
Hmm.
they've had still remains today. Here's one for you. Michael Jackson. Will you ever
Ah,
forget him? I'll never forget
right.
Michael Jackson.
Right.
He was a
Right.
bad boy. I'm telling you. I used to wish I could dance like Michael Jackson.
I know that's
But
right.
yeah, man. So I mean, this is impact, guys. But those guys were walking in their gifts, and that was the
And
result.
and you know what else, Dr. Parker? The few that you just named, each one of them faced enormous opposition.
Oh
They
yes.
did they because remember when you quoted the Dr. King quote about what's a man who won't live for something or die for something doesn't deserve to live. The other thing that always catches me is that if you won't stand for something, you'll
Mm,
fall for anything. So you
anything.
got to be rooted in the knowledge that you have and stand on it because you know it's true. You know it works. And then don't worry about the opposition. you will find a way around it, under it, through it, whatever it takes. Like Dr. Parker said, just all out. When you put the pedal to the metal and for 30 days, just a chunk, that's only 4 of those 12 weeks. Just try it and see what happens. That's the key. Look back and track those results and see where you were, where you are, and then that'll expand the vision that you had. Because another thing, Dr. Parker, is that when people don't live their best life, it's up to their capabilities, is because they don't have that vision. They can't see themselves as anything other than what they are.
Wow.
And that's where I get that, go back to that tree. It
That's
all
it.
circles back. You can change. You can change. It's all up to you. I didn't want to go to
Wow.
chapter 11 because you had done such a marvelous job on chapter 10. So I'm glad we're having this discussion. But some other folks, y'all can chime in too.
Yeah,
got
we'll hold what we got, David, because we've got Fernando coming up next. But
Oh yeah,
I would like to hear from some of the others.
yeah,
I'd like to add something real quick.
yes, sir.
We always talk about belief and actions and that little tree, how you get to belief. And we think that belief is the ultimate thing we need to do. There's one more component to that movement forward, and that's expectancy. Once we have a goal, we need to expect it to happen, not just believe it's going to happen. Somewhere or another, I've heard that, and ever since I've heard it, I can't quit thinking about it. Dr. Parker and his bells, he put those things on his feet because he expected the outcome to be him winning.
There you go.
So did Dr. King. He expected to be at the mountain one day, or if he can't be there, you'll get there. But he expected it to occur. Now, I equivalate, if that's a word, expectancy to being a component of commitment. Once you really commit to something, such as making a call a day or making 10 calls a day, once you commit with expectancy of the outcome, it will occur. It's a shift. It's the tiny little shift that makes the incredible magnitude of the results that you want. So I don't keep my day thinking about expectancy. I expect it to happen. May not, but that means I need to grow into it. So I go back and reaffirm my expectancy, the bells on my shoes.
Oh, you're giving us a visual now, Dr. Parker.
Hey, listen, man, it worked every time. It worked, and I don't even know where the idea came from, but it worked every time. I psyched up, and you know what? I gained a reputation. So as we traveled around the district and all over the state to these major events, they knew when I stepped off that bus, they knew there he is. That's the guy. And David, I'd get all my gear and I sit in the middle of the infield, which is the center of the track. And all my teammates knew that I just needed that time by myself to motivate myself and to kind of encourage myself. But I asked for that distance. I didn't want those guys around me because what I was doing as I sat in the middle of that infield, I was running the race in my head. Before the race even started, I was running it in my head, and I saw me crossing the finish line. I knew what I was up against. I knew who I was running against on that given day. But it was there was a sense of boldness, and it rang true every time. It worked every single. It would never failed me. It never failed me. But those guys really helped me because they pushed me to run my best times ever.
You added another concept to the expectancy part, and that's feelings. We talk about vision and so forth, where you take vision and you go one more step with vision, and you end up with the feeling that it has occurred, the expectancy and the feeling. So without the feeling, you're not manifesting. It's got to be the feeling addition.
Love it.
This is good stuff, man. Good stuff. Anybody else before we transition? We've got an incredible presentation coming up here shortly. Anyone else? David, thank you so much, man. for your
Dr.
input,
Parker, I
Ron.
applaud you. Thank you for waiting.
Oh, sure, no problem. It was absolutely worth it. Anyone else? We just kind of took over the call, didn't we?
Hey, all I can say about this conversation, you guys, I mean, the reading is important, but hearing you both and Ron also complimenting the reading, it puts a lot in my mind. And imagination is everything. We have to learn to imagine. You know what? I remember one interview or one of our Walt Disney's, I think, son. He was interviewed, and he says, "It's too bad that your dad didn't see, you know, Disney World coming to fruition." He said he saw it. He sold us the vision, and we all bought
Wow,
into it, and that's why we developed the project.
look at that, man. Look at that. Guys, it's real, man. It's absolutely real. Um, Fernando, thank you for that as well. But I mean,
Yeah.
I got a million stories, man, where just attitude and belief in yourself just pays off in a major way. I remember I was fresh out of actually I didn't finish school at Morgan State University. I quit, David, in my third year uh, doing one of my business classes. The professor skipped over the chapter of entrepreneurship,
Mm.
and I was a little upset about that. And he called me to the side after class and said, you know, why the outburst and why you doing this? And I was like, I came here to learn how to own my own business. He said, you're in the wrong school, son. He said,
Mm.
you're here to learn how to put that skill set to work for somebody else, to get yourself a job. And at that
Mm.
point, I was done. I was like, man, you can have this because this is not what I'm here to do. And then so I came back to North Carolina, and I got my first job in I live in rural North Carolina, right? So the popular housing was mobile homes, right? So I stopped by a dealership one day and had my suit and tie on. Nobody was in the office. The guy was out showing some homes on the lot, and I found the first desk that I saw. I kicked my feet up on that desk, and I got on the phone, started calling. I called my mother, and I said I got my first job, and I hadn't even been interviewed. I hadn't even been interviewed. The guy walked in the office and said, "Sir, may I help you?" I said, "May I help you?" And I told him I was here to begin work that day, and the guy hired me on the spot.
Wow.
Hired me on the spot, man. You just got to be bold, man. I'm telling you, because nobody else is doing it. You can do
Yeah.
some great things if you believe it.
See, there
Set
was
you,
the expectancy right there.
yeah, that sets you apart for sure. That
Oh
sets
yeah,
you way
he
apart.
freaked out. That guy freaked out. He had never seen anything like it. He said, "But listen, it's your job. You say it's yours. You can have it. When can you start?" I said, "I've already started. Give me some coffee. Somebody give me some coffee."
Love it.
Hey, I love you guys, man. Thank you so much for allowing me to participate today.
Thank you for
Well,
holding
thank
it
you,
down,
Dr.
Dr.
G.W.
Parker.
Parker. David,
My
thanks
pleasure.
again. Hey, appreciate you. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to move on to the next topic of our conversation here this morning. But we are going to take a pause. We're going to leave for a little bit and we're going to come back in about 25 minutes. But this is what I want us all to do. Send the invitation. If you're not a part of Telegram, you know, have someone that is a part of Telegram add you to our Telegram family. Right there, we got all the events that are taking place, and we're going to be doing a presentation and also a training. Okay, we're going to go over the leverage calculator training to be able to put things together when you present the information or send people your tools. Go back to that financial calculator or the leverage calculator, and it's fun to do. People love it. Yesterday we did it in our Spanish segment that we had, and people were excited once we shared that leverage calculator. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be back in 24 minutes. All right, I'm counting 11. I should see double the numbers, 22 or 30 minimum. Your thoughts on that, Dr. G.W. Parker? 30 minimum, okay? So we'll be right back. We're going to jump on again 5 minutes prior. Right now, I'm going to do my dials. I'm going to do my invitations. And I know you're all going to do the same thing too. We'll see you in a bit. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Fernando.
See you soon, David.
Alrighty.